What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word hummingbird? Well, the word is just sadness. Deep, deep sadness. So, as many of you probably have already heard, Malcolm-Jamal Warner of The Cosby Show, Malcolm and Eddie, etc., has unfortunately passed away. So, from what I could gather, he passed away yesterday, July the 20th, 2025. He was on a family vacation and he drowned off the coast of Costa Rica. And I think People magazine is reporting that while he was in the water, there must have been either some very strong waves or a riptide or something that he couldn't swim out of. And unfortunately, he lost his life. Anybody who's anybody, definitely if you grew up like in the 80s and 90s, if you watched TV in the 80s and 90s, you definitely know exactly who he is. He played the iconic Theo Huxtable for many years on The Cosby Show. We watched him grow up. He went from a kid to a full grown adult, playing Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. After that, he went on to do many other TV shows. He was in a whole bunch of other projects. This is the kind of celebrity that when you find out about them passing, it hits so hard because there wasn't one single controversy about him. There wasn't, I can't think of any type of negative news or negative press surrounding Malcolm-Jamal Warner. I don't know, obviously, how he was in real life, but just something about him, I just know for sure that he was a kind and gentle, sweet soul, and nobody can convince me otherwise. He had so many iconic moments as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, the episode where his sister Denise, played by Lisa Bonet, made him that Gordon Cottrell shirt that ended up being a disaster. The episode where he had gotten his ear pierced and he was trying to hide it from his dad, Cliff Huxtable, played by Bill Cosby. Um, the episodes when he later on went off to college and he found out that he was dyslexic, and that he had to learn things differently. All of these things that are just so memorable about that character. He breathed so much life into that character, and just gone too soon. Gone way too soon. When I saw this on TMZ, y'all, I just felt so incredibly, sadness is not even a word. It's like, how you create these parasocial relationships with these actors and actresses and entertainers and whatnot. Don't know him from a hill of beans, but I feel like I know him so well. You know what I mean? And it was, anyways, he was a cute kid, but when he like matured into a full grown man, that's when my crush for Malcolm-Jamal Warner began. That man was beautiful. When that madness took over, and he had that maturity about him. Yes, I was crushing hard for Malcolm-Jamal Warner. And he was just as beautiful inside, I truly believe, as he was on the outside. He leaves behind his wife and his daughter. He was very protective of his family, so I don't know too much about his wife or his daughter. He tried really hard to keep them away from the limelight because obviously, you know, the public is very cruel, and you want to protect your loved ones as much as you can, from the world. And throughout the years, he's dated some very notable women. He dated Karen Molina White. She was with them. She played on Malcolm and Eddie with them. She played on The Cosby Show with them. During the seasons when all the kids were kind of grown and everybody off, getting married, going to college and whatnot. Cousin Pam moved in with the Huxtables, and along with Cousin Pam came Charmaine, which was Cousin Pam's best friend. And she talked really fast, really sassy. And in real life, she dated Malcolm-Jamal Warner. He also dated Regina King, who was in If Beale Street Could Talk. Was she in Independence Day? I'm not a big, blockbuster movie watcher, so I'm not sure if she was in in Independence Day. She obviously, I know her from playing Brenda on 227. She was also on Poetic Justice, a whole bunch of film projects. Extremely talented Oscar winning actress. They dated for a while. And then the most memorable girlfriend that he had was Michelle Thomas. She also played his girlfriend on The Cosby Show. She played Justine. And they were such a cute couple. When I found out that were dating in real life, I was like so happy, because some fictional characters, when you see them, you're like, wow, I really wish that they were together in real life, because it seems like they look good together, they have chemistry, and they actually did date in real life. They were together from 1988 until 1994. They broke up after that. She ended up passing away from cancer at the age of 26, I believe, in 1998. And they still remained friends after their relationship ended. Very good friends, because every article that I've read mentioned that Malcolm-Jamal Warner was by her side when she passed away from cancer. This is a tragic loss to the world of entertainment. It's a tragic loss to all of us who knew him on The Cosby Show and other shows that he was on. This is it's just crazy how someone you have never met in real life, you only know them through the media, but then when they're gone, it hits so hard. It hits so hard. Like it's like losing a friend, you know? And it's funny how life imitates art and art imitates life, because as we all know, Bill Cosby, when he came up with the idea of the Cosby Show, he mirrored the Huxtables. He mirrored the Huxtables after his own family, because in his own family he had the wife, he had the 5 children, 4 girls, 1 boy. The Huxtables, the wife, the children, 4 girls, 1 boy. And in real life, Bill Cosby was extremely close to his son, Ennis Cosby. And Ennis Cosby tragically lost his life in the 90s. He was murdered. And I think he was murdered while being a good Samaritan. He was helping someone on the side of the road, I believe. And then I don't know if the person he was helping took his life or someone else took his. I don't remember exactly how the story went, but I remember them saying that he was being a good Samaritan when he was tragically killed. And I know that Bill Cosby took it extremely hard, because that was his only son. And he also talked about his son like that was his best friend. I remember Bill Cosby saying in several interviews that whenever him and his son saw each other, they greeted each other with "hello, friend," because they were friends. In addition to being father and son, they were friends. And he loved him like a son, he loved him like a friend. And I think even the cartoon Little Bill, I think Little Bill says "hello, friend" either in the beginning. I think in the beginning of the intro of the show, at some point he says "hello, friend" when he greets us, the audience. We'll say "hello, friend." And so he ended up losing his son very tragically through murder. And now Cliff Huxtable has lost Theo Huxtable. And Bill Cosby, I think, released a statement saying that he feels Malcolm-Jamal Warner passing away, it has affected him just like the way when his own son, Ennis Cosby, passed away. That's how deeply it has affected him. And Malcolm-Jamal Warner just seems like the kind of person where you feel like you just want to sit down and have a cup of coffee with him, because he seems like he has so much, like he was just so knowledgeable and so wise. And I know that he was on a podcast. Unfortunately, I never heard of this podcast. I never listened to it, but he just seems like someone who knew a lot, and he just seemed like very wise beyond his years. And whenever he talked about the whole Bill Cosby scandal, he talked about it with respect and with dignity. When Cosby was charged and served time in prison and all of that, and that his friendship with Bill Cosby still remained regardless of whatever else was going on. And like he was, like a true friend to him and loyal to him. And I understand that that's probably controversial for a lot of people, but to me it just seemed like that, like he was a true friend. Like when we all go through things, And you want the people that are truly there for you, truly down for you. You don't want them to abandon you when you're going through your darkest time. That's a whole nother subject, a whole nother topic. I'm just trying to illuminate how Malcolm-Jamal Warner, to me, I don't know him, but it seemed like he was such a good person. I don't know him in real life, but he seemed like such a good person. You know, there was no controversy about him. There was no negativity about him. He didn't get caught up in all of these ridiculous, stupid scandals that celebrities get caught up in. He stayed in his lane. He did what he had to do. And it hurts. It hurts. He was 54 years old. It hurts. It really hurts. We all have to go sometime. And I just hope that wherever he's at, he can definitely feel that outpouring of love that this world had for him. And I guess we can just give ourselves comfort in knowing that he's in a much better place than this world could ever be to him. I also, real quick, also had read an article how what he talked when he talked about his parents. His parents divorced when he was really young, but they co-parented well and they remained friends for forever. And he talks very glowing about his parents' relationship. Like even though they were divorced, and I'm this painful as a child, that they remained friends and that they were able to successfully co-parent him. He has to come from really good people for him to be the way that he is. Um, so, you know, God bless his parents. Condolences to his parents. This hits differently. It hits super, super hard. And yeah, rest in peace, Malcolm-Jamal Warner.